Tom Brady rallied the Patriots to a fourth Super Bowl title, while the Seattle Seahawks are left second-guessing that final play. Josh Elliott's reports on the highs and lows from football's biggest night.
With the Patriots facing sure defeat, they denied Seattle a second Super Bowl title in the final moments.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line.
With the ball on the half-yard line, the Patriots' Malcolm Butler picked off Russell Wilson at the goal line, clinching New England's first title in a decade, and prompting an immediate backlash against Seahawks coach Pete Carroll.
I can't believe the call.
Me neither.
I cannot believe the call.
The call of a pass play there was stunning, rather than giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch, one of the league's most punishing backs.
You got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. You've got a guy that's been borderline unstoppable in this part of the field.
Social media erupted as NFL legend Emmitt Smith tweeted, "That was the worst play call I've seen in the history of football." The Patriots weren't always efficient, but were more than effective, completing the largest fourth-quarter comeback in Super Bowl history, in erasing a 10-point Seattle lead and negating one of the more incredible catches many had ever seen. Tensions ran so high, a decidedly ugly brawl broke out in the final seconds. Afterward, Patriots owner Robert Kraft was both delighted and defiant, addressing the Deflategate controversy head-on.
We won today 28-24. Our people didn't touch the balls. I love our team. I'm proud of our guys.
For Tom Brady, it was a fourth Super Bowl win and a record-tying third MVP award. He celebrated both with his family afterward. And while the Patriots danced on the field after the win, during halftime, that floor belonged to Katy Perry, who pulled off an eye-popping, field-bending performance with the help of Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott, along with a giant lion and a few lip-syncing sharks. All that provided the night's second biggest dose of fireworks.
It was a good halftime show. Well, as for Seattle, that final play resulting in that interception and ultimately costing the team the trophy will have fans talking for years to come. But head coach Pete Carroll is standing by his decision.
I told those guys that's my fault totally. You know, we could, because everybody just, why don't you just run it? You know, that's a real good thought. But we had plenty of time to win a game, and we would have, in our minds, we thought we'd done it on third and fourth down, and that's how we were playing for third and fourth down, giving no time left, and it would have been just right.
The new Super Bowl champions are now on their way back home. The Patriots left Arizona a few hours ago. You could see players and staff boarding a plane out of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, heading back to Boston to share their new trophy with the rest of the city. Fortunately, it's not such a rosy travel day for many others trying to get home after Super Bowl 49. Travelers heading back to New England might get a little extra time to enjoy the city of Arizona because thousands of flights are either canceled or delayed because of the bad weather. More than 5,300 flights have been canceled yesterday and today. That's according to flight tracking service FlightAware. And here are some other effects of that stormy weather. This was the scene in Chicago this morning where a record-setting snowfall dropped more than 19 inches of snow. It is the fifth largest snow event in the Windy City's history, and now the storm is slowly making its way through and toward New England. Let's go over to meteorologist Tamara Berg. How much more snow are we talking about, Tamara?
Yeah, I was just looking at the Boston National Weather Service page, and they were saying anywhere from 14 to 18 more inches of snowfall can be expected. And you can see much of the Northeast really getting hammered by the impact of this pretty strong and extensive storm. In fact, it extends all the way along the Carolina coast where there's just some steadier rain showers, but the snow is really going to be the big issue here, as we've had still some snow showers lingering across northeast Ohio, and here's the proof of that. This is a view looking into downtown Cleveland, right along the Lake Erie waterfront there, and while it looks okay, the snow is now blowing and drifting around, and we've already got about a foot on the ground in portions of Cleveland. There is going to be more snow developing as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours, so we're expecting that, even though the bulk of the storm will be kind of slowing down a bit in the overnight tonight. Again, an additional 1 to 2 inches could fall per hour in the towns there around New England and up towards Maine, and we could expect to see more of this snow still all the way lingering in through Wednesday, and we're still going to see some conditions out there that are going to be bitterly cold with the whipping wind and those bitterly cold wind chills as well. Lisa, back to you.
All right, Tamara, thank you. Also in the news this noon hour, President Obama delivered his 2016 budget plan today. It is a record $4 trillion proposal that highlights the message he delivered in the State of the Union address last month. The budget books arrived at the U.S. Capitol this morning. The plan calls for increasing taxes on higher income Americans and corporations and would use that money to get rid of tight budget spending caps and provide tax relief for the middle class. Funding for most of the government is in effect through September, but Republicans opposed to the president's moves on immigration only funded the Department of Homeland Security through the end of this month. The president says the budget must balance national security and domestic programs.
No worse for wear from the Super Bowl last. But if they don't agree with me, that's fine. That's how our democracy works. You may have noticed they usually don't agree with me. But don't jeopardize our national security over this disagreement.
Also included in the budget plan, President Obama proposing a new government agency dedicated to keeping the nation's food safe. It would consolidate parts of the Agriculture Department and the Food and Drug Administration to focus on food safety oversight. Back here in Northern California, 4 people were shot and another beaten in North Sacramento late last night following a possible Super Bowl party. The shots were fired just after 11:30 at the corner of Cathcart Avenue and Gillespie Street. According to officers, when they arrived at the intersection, they found 4 people laying in the street. They were all taken to the hospital. At least one of the patients was listed in critical condition. 2 men and 2 women were shot. Officers believe the victims were from both sides of the argument.
We know that one house there was a party, maybe a Super Bowl party, letting out, and some confrontation happened in the street between 2 different groups. And next thing you know, someone brought out a gun and shots were fired, and 4 people were hit.
Officers are still looking for the shooters. Several people were detained at the scene and were being interviewed by officers. Multiple shell casings were visible in the street as investigators collected evidence. We're learning today that the Tahoe fire captain accused of shooting and receiving child porn already has had his first appearance in court. Mark Wygant was arrested after colleagues say they found a flash drive in an empty locker. Court documents say it had more than 5,000 child porn pictures and more than 100 videos. In one of the videos, federal agents say Wygant is seen placing a camera in a young girl's bathroom. He will be back in federal court in Sacramento next Friday. In Oakland, firefighters battled this large warehouse fire this morning. This video shows what crews were up against about 6 o'clock this morning. Turns out this was actually the second fire at the same building along San Leandro Street and 105th Avenue. Oakland firefighters say that they put out a fire at the same location earlier this morning. Big project is now in the works at William Jessup University in Rockland. Right now, half the students there have no choice but to commute. The university says there simply isn't enough housing for the growing student body. But as KCRA 3's Leticia Ordaz reports, a ceremony this morning marked the start of a project that will offer more students the full college experience.
A brand new dorm on campus. Good night tonight.
Some college students at William Jessup University are pumped up about news they're getting a new dorm.
I'm really excited. It'll add to the environment that people call home here.
Currently, 4 dorms are on campus, but it's not enough to meet the needs of 1,200 students.
It's been more commuters than it has been residential, and that's not our mission statement. We want our students, if they desire, they can commute if they want to, but if they desire, we want them to be able to be on campus.
The commuter environment is a little more disconnected.
To keep more students on campus, this old furniture warehouse will be converted into a 5th dorm for 200 students. It will be a 3-story, 40,000 square foot building with laundry facilities, a large study area, and a barbecue spot. Students say besides the extra amenities, being on campus increases their chances for success.
Really, just being on campus, it creates a community and creates an environment where you find friends almost without even having to try.
It helps in a lot of ways, but one of the big ways is you're able to live with people who are in your classes. So it's basically you have help.
Freshmen are required to live on campus, but after that, rooms aren't guaranteed. For Brittany Derby, a new dorm means she won't have to move out.
It would be nice because of the dorms that I would be able to stay on campus.
University officials say the new dorm will be ready to go by early 2016, and sophomores will get first priority. At William Jessup University in Rockland, Leticia Ordaz, KCRA 3 News. Construction of the new dorm is expected to cost the private university more than $10.5 million. Well, a Lodi teacher just won $10,000 for her school. Sherry Alexander entered the Great American School Spectacular contest to buy new teaching technology and supplies for her classroom. The middle school science teacher was one of 10 finalists out of 450 that entered the nationwide contest. She plans to use the money to make classroom improvements, get some new teaching technology, and get a new big whiteboard. She still has a chalkboard, so she wants a big whiteboard. Congratulations to Mrs. Alexander. Well, still ahead here at noon, crossing the pond, why New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is making a trip to Britain and what he's hoping to promote on his overseas trip. Plus, no way, do not try this at home. Why? It was pretty easy for officers to track down this person skiing on the road. And today might as well be an unofficial holiday. How many people will call in sick to work the day after the Super Bowl?